capsules.
What's going on with yours?
Just my 4 or 5 years has gotten to be
It works forever. It's worked for a year and a half straight. It took them forever to get it to work. Because whenever they did one of my laptops, I'm like,
You're not on the ballot yet, are you? Should be on the tax roll.
It wouldn't be taxed.
We got one more minute. So we're gonna wait.
Which one, Karen? The Gilder one?
The one that was put down. We'll bring that. Yeah. that'll come to the next meeting.
Remind you all that every August we get one. And for more properties.
Have to make sure. And it's 6 o'clock, is everybody ready? Are we ready down here? You ready to start? Tracy, is the live streaming working?
I don't use live stream.
Is the live streaming working? We're ready to start, guys? I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Burt,
Present.
trustee Fabdo,
Present.
trustee King. Present. Supervisor Miller.
Here.
Clerk Triplett here. Trustee Leverett.
Present.
And Treasurer Clee.
Present.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any additions or deletions to the agenda. Is that right? Do we have any corrections to the minutes from the last board meeting, March 18th?
So were you gonna add that item for the river course? Oh,
They want to wait. It'll come at the next meeting.
thank you.
Thank you. Any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from March 18th, 2024 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Stand approved. We'll go to public comment. If you'd like to address the board, I'd ask that you come to the podium. You'll have 4 minutes to address the board.
Good evening, Madam Miller. My name is Mary Hood, and I thank you for this opportunity to address the Flint Township community this evening. I am one of your family court referees. I've served Genesee County for 21 years as a family court referee, oftentimes sitting in the seats of some of our circuit court judges. Many of you know that I ran for circuit court judge back in 2022, and I lost. I came so close, though, almost 49%, that so many people in the community have asked me to reconsider and to run again, and I did file. I'll know for sure by May 1st whether or not my name is on the ballot, but I filed my petitions on last week, as well as my affidavits. And I want to thank the Flint Township community, because Flint Township community was second only to the city of Flint in the support that I got here. And I am grateful to you all for the support I received. Since I was last here, I do have Prosecutor Layton's support, his endorsement. I have our sheriff's endorsement. I have 6 of the 9 county commissioners' support, including your very own Dale Wayhill. He supports my candidacy. So, I mean, I'm anxious and excited about just the opportunity to serve as a circuit court judge. And I ask for your continued prayers and support. And, you know, I'll do a great job for you. I've been there for a long time, and it's just really time for me to move upstairs in the courthouse. I've been on the first floor for a very long time, and I'm just looking to serve in a greater capacity. I believe in justice, equal justice for all, and that's what I have been doing for a number of years, and I'm just ready to have a greater impact in the community. I thank you all for your support. If there's anything that you can do to help, please let me know. We need all the help we can get, and I'm excited. I thank you, Supervisor, for this opportunity. I do have another event, so I will have to leave you, but thank you very much. Do you have any questions for me?
Wish you luck. Good luck.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Here we go.
Mark White, m.w244@yahoo.com. I was Prosecutor Layton's sign man. I went everywhere in this county. I got a lot of praise from Kirchner, a reporter at the time. He says he never seen so many signs. Of course, Jim Layton helped, and he did a great job to begin with. I read the Flint Township View and saw that the county commissioner, one of 4 appointees that are over me in government now, 4 appointees without an election of the people, without a vote of the people, suggest that to the mall owner that they make code words, multifamily housing in Genesee Valley Mall, which is the only thing that's keeping this township government afloat. It was assessed at one time at $67 million. I don't know what it is now. But, and he complained, rightfully so. Multifamily housing is code word for HUD and or at these current times, refugees. And our last meetings we had about the unethical attempt to put an assessment on Flint Township property owners out of desperation, I believe. People did support the police and fire, and I take that as being against crime and against fire, which is simple to understand. And having an out-of-state, let alone out-of-town landlord of a blighted piece of property have a multifamily housing is the recipe for gang activity, drug activity, and every other possible negative activity. And that's not my words. I just Googled it, and that was my whole front screen of the computer. And that's what our county commissioner, appointed as she is, Commissioner Brown, suggested when our good township officials met with the owner of the mall. But I don't have all positive things to say. I had a relative, a close relative, who worked at that mall, and there was at one time 360 cars stolen a year out of that mall. And they did the best they could with police protection. Tonight, I am handed out where in Flint Township alone, a 1-bedroom house has dropped 66% in 1 year, from February to February. This is market research. A 2-bedroom dropped 23.8. A 3-bedroom dropped 31.4. A 4-bedroom dropped 20.2. A 5-bedroom or more dropped negative 14.3. I'm guessing that the big bedroom ones, because you can turn it into a duplex, just like the duplex across the street from me that has 5 mattresses out there. Last week it was garbage after the garbage man left with no barrels, and before that it was more mattresses. When the gentleman at the fire department said there's 45% rentals in this town, I know it's a lot more than that. I've lived here for 30-some years. While Flint housing went up 23%. Swartz Creek housing went up 12.5%. Burton housing went up 7.4%. Mundy Township went up 5.5%. What we've done is tax the mall to death. That's why it's been sold between 13 and who knows 20 times. We've taxed it, used it as a cash cow to support this township. We've done the same thing to the dive shop and other businesses. I first became aware that that was occurring to my home in 1994 when I went to get refinanced. And about the year 2000, it was assessed at $186,000, I believe, and I got 3 appraisals, and it came out 91, 92, 93. That's what we're doing. We've driven out everybody for the purpose of giving tax abatements to new businesses. At one point, I believe, if I'm correct, I know if somebody can correct me, Best Buy had a tax abatement on both buildings, the old building and the new building. But that's the tax shift shuffle. We're shuffling money from new businesses
Thank you, Mr. White. Your
for
time
new
is up.
businesses to on everyone else's back.
Good evening. My name is Beth Ann Bodker. I live at 6365 Stonegate Parkway in Flint Township. I'd like to speak briefly about the rental inspection policy, as I'm also a landlord in the Flint Township. I spoke with Trustee Vert about this following the last meeting, but I want to make a public appeal. I understand the need to deal with blight in our township and understand that some landlords are the cause of this blight. But I urge you to focus on them and not those of us who strive to provide quality, affordable housing to our tenants. Our personal policy is never to rent out a house that we would not personally live in ourselves. In fact, we're putting about $40,000 into maintenance as well as improvements in our rentals this summer in order to keep them at a standard that adds to the community. So I urge you to focus on those who devalue the community, not those who, like us, work really hard to offer safe, pleasant, affordable housing within the township. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
William Newsom. I just have a quick thing. I had a conversation with a police officer. It was in the fall. And we got to talking about I'm gonna call them beggars. I don't think they're homeless that are on all the exits on the highways and stuff. And we worked pretty hard on that, whatever we did to stop that. And then we found a state law, you can't be on the roadway, and I guess they changed that up in upper state till you gotta have a permit. But the police officer informed me that they're not allowed to address or touch or go up to those people at all. So I think there's a lot of confusion. I think we're gonna have a bad year this year for that. So if anybody gets a chance to sit down and maybe talk to the chief and decide what exactly is the proper procedure, because I was under the understanding that the police officer could approach those people, hand them a card to give them some help or whatever they need to do, but police officers have told me that's not true, so I think it needs to be cleared up. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud. Anyone else like to address the board?
Kevin Stiff, G4020 Corona Road, the dive shop, also a resident in the township. If anybody would have sent me a get well card, I want to thank you, but nobody did, so that's okay. Little joke there. But, and if I could ask any of you guys a question, I would, but I can't ask you any questions. So I'll just babble along here for a minute. I want to get back to the budget that you guys all brought up 2 months ago or so, 3 months ago. The budget, Plant Moran came in, kind of danced around here for a while, made the budget look pretty good, and I think we're still broke. We're pretty close to being broke. And I haven't heard another thing about the budget. I know you guys brought up the 4 mills for the fire. I'm still a supporter of the fire department, and that kind of got shot down, as far as I'm from what I've heard. But I haven't heard anybody address the budget since. Nobody's talked about it. I see in the newspaper you guys readdressed the chicken ordinance, and but nobody's talked about the ordinance. Or the budget again. The police chief had that where he got I'm lost for words.
You got an award?
What's that?
You got an award?
He got an award. They got an award, and then that's going to be readdressed in 3 years. That costs money to have that done. Did it lower our insurance rates?
You're talking about the certification for the police
Certification.
department.
There you go. Sorry, I've been sick for about a
Did
month
get
or
an
more.
award too.
He did, but where's that money come from? Where's that money come from for all of that? And then, these concerns are, we have no money. So where's all of this coming from? If we have no money, we're spending money that we don't have. We sent out postcards for this 4 mills. Where'd that money come from? I see none of that in the newspaper. Nothing. Nobody explained any of this for anything, And if we are already close to being broke for the year, where's our money? Where's our taxpayers? Where is this going to? Nobody's explained nothing. The newspaper doesn't tell us anything. You guys didn't tell us anything. His award none of this, all of this is kind of confusing. You know, again, I've been out of the picture for a month or so. I've been sick again, so I don't know what's going on. I hear a little of this, I hear a little of that, but I have heard nothing at all. The tax tribunal was a couple weeks ago. I quit coming to the tax tribunals because it's a waste of my time to come, because when you come, you get nothing at all. My taxes are up, house taxes, my property taxes on my business, my garage. All my taxes are up. Every year they're up, and I get nothing at all.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Good evening. I am Katina Wilborn. I am a resident on Royal Crest Drive. They are building, Lord knows what, at the end of our block. It's been a dead-end cul-de-sac I've been at my home for 15 years. My property, I've been keeping up for 15 years. It's been horrific. I have come home stakes with sticks, not steaks, but sticks. Yarn has been around my property from these developers. It looks like a crime scene. It's been a mess. I have tried to reach out to the person who purchased the property. When I first moved there, I was thinking this was my boundary at 36 and 51. He had a bogus person come out that was not licensed to stake out the yard. I asked him to please wait. Let me get a surveyor out. Do not cut down the trees. Each day, trees were gone. Yard is horrific. That's gonna cause a lot of traffic coming through our area, and for 15 years, I have taken care of this property that supposedly might be his. It's been a mess. The police has been caught out even just before I came to the meeting. It's horrific. I'm curious to know what they're building. I'm curious, and he does not want to sell the property, but I have been keeping up this property for 15 years. 86 and 2/3 acres. You can't give me 20 feet to get out of my driveway? It's unheard of. It's unheard of. The builders, contractors that he have out there is unbelievable. It's 2024. I am appalled. They have addressed my child. They should not do that. They have been out of character and out of boundary. We have had no problems in our neighborhood, quiet neighborhood. Now all of a sudden, even the animals, they have to find a place. But on my property or on my land or near my yard, I feel after 15 years taking care of this, I should have some type of, I should have some type of rights to that property for keeping over. And then after I got my land surveyed, come to find out, he has went over boundaries in my backyard and has cut a lot of trees. It's been a mess. So I am not happy with this at all. I need answers. I need to know what he's building. I need to know why I can't have access to this property that I have kept up for 15 years. I don't like the traffic that will be coming. It's other entryways and exits that they can come in. Years ago, 15 years ago, I spoke with Bill Fowler. Came up here to find out, tried to find my boundaries. I have my map, I have my lot placements. I'm lot 22, I'm the last one. These are woods. They're crushing down my property. They could have waited until I got my land surveyed before they demolished my yard. It's embarrassing. Can you imagine after 15 years, someone coming in a big truck just crushing your stuff like a pop can? Appalling.
Anything for developers?
I think it was 1121 Royal Crest.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to see some familiar faces. I've been in the community since 1981. I've coached the
Can we get your name, please?
I'm sorry, my name is Alcinda Cox. I've been in the community since 1981. I coached at Carmen Amesworth for 25 years, and I Like I said, I've been in the township since '81, but I lived on, and I want to piggyback off of her, I lived on Royal Crest Drive since '97. And we just got back in town from Florida. We've been gone for a few months. And we just got back and we see that they're leveling all the lumber down at the end of our subdivision. And when we purchased our home, we purchased it on a cul-de-sac and for a purpose, because it's a lot of small children on the street. It's also, we don't care for the traffic, and also in real estate, people tend to pay more for homes on cul-de-sac because they want the lower traffic. And we did. The property was at top value at that time when we purchased our property in '97. But what I'm asking for is, I don't know the details of the developer that's leveling the land and that she said that's destroying her property. So I don't know what they building. I don't know if they're building apartments or townhouses or homes. We're not clear on that. I have not received any information on that. We were not aware that that was going to happen. But what we would like, if at all possible, that they take another entrance into their new subdivision, if they could come off Dye Road or Court Street or Elms with the 86 acres, because we would really prefer to keep our cul-de-sac private like it is because of the small children and because of our community and our personal investment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Justin Clark. I'm a recent resident of this township in the last 5 years, also on Royal Crest. And in addition to the last two, the development, what are they building? Is it going to be public housing? Is it going to be new builds? Is it going to increase the value of our houses? If they are using our street, you know, what is this developer going to do over time that whatever he's building, bringing the trucks in and out of the street that we have, you know, over time it's going to cause potholes, it's going to cause, you know, traffic. What is it that's going to happen in addition to him building and developing to the roadways? What does that look like in the next couple of years with the trucks coming in and out? And do you guys have any plan of what they are building? And if so, can we have a copy of that? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
And excuse my slowness, I just came from the doctor's office. A lot of people wonder why I get up and talk all the time. In 2019, in hospital, I was given the last rites. Saw a vision of my Lord Jesus Christ. Thought it was my time to go. For some reason, he saved me. Must have a purpose for me. 81 years old. Went to the review board 2 years in a row. Recent review board says your property has been properly assessed. Year 2000, under Headley, my property was worth $100,000. 2024, they say my property is worth close to $260,000. People wonder why your taxes keep on going up. Under the Headley, it's based on an inflationary rate. Year 2000 through 2004, the inflationary rate was 5% per year, 25% over that 5-year period of time or a 4-year period of time. This last year, going back, exactly the same thing, 25% increase. Under the Headley, they can't charge you that any more than 5.5%. Our president went on the news under the State of the Nation, said our inflationary rate only went 3%. But yet the state of Michigan says it went up 5.1% and they can only charge 5%. Somebody's lying. Couldn't be our president, could it? Or could it be our state? That's dictated. Every year, your people's property tax goes up 5%. Over a period of time, 25% in 5 years. That's the multiplier that goes by every one of these. Oh, it's only gonna cost you a cup of coffee today for this information. I looked and there was 26 only gonna cost multipliers that we're paying our multiplying rate against in our county here. Only going to cost you. I'm 81 years old. Is my wife gonna be able to afford it? This is why I get up here and I go to the review board all the time and I look at that. Our assessor gave me a set of properties, 33 of them. It was in sales over the last 2 or 3 years. I checked about 6 or 7 of them, and my house goes to just $260,000 what they got it valued at. But there was only about 5 or 6 of them that were even over close to $20,000. One of them was 233, but it had probably $40,000 worth of these sun things on the roof, which would have increased that house. I could understand why they said that, because 40 or 50,000, because it's a sun-efficient house. There wasn't one house in there that was close to $50,000 that sold over that period of time on that sheet than what I was being valued at. Now, the inflationary factor and the multiplier was set back in 2000, I think, by Headley. That's an onward and upward spiral. That's why your taxes are going up every year. Every year and every year and every year. So if your husband dies tomorrow, are you gonna be able to live in your house and pay those taxes?
Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
I don't think so. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
Projection says it is projected that 11% is gonna go up this next year.
Your
That's what
time
they
is up,
base
Mr.
that.
Roberts. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Name is David Cox Jr., also a resident of Royal Crest Drive since 1997. And I just want to address the board again, piggyback on the other people that came up and spoke about that interest in that new development at the end of our street. You know, we've been there a long time, and we really self-contained Royal Crest Drive. We've had the street plowed when no one plowed it. We take care of the entranceway. We pay to get the trees cut down so you can pull out, when you're pulling out on Elms Road, you can see if cars is coming. We pay for all that. And now, with this new development, and it appears that maybe they're gonna use our street as their entryway in and out of there, I just think that's kind of disrespectful. You know, because, I mean, honestly, we love our quietness, and that's one of the reasons why we moved there. And like you said, there's young children, people walk. It's just, we like the peacefulness. We're not having to worry about traffic going up and down our street because it is a cul-de-sac right now. And we don't have any problems on that street. From the time we moved there, when I moved there was problems at the end of the street because kids were having fun down there. But when we moved on the street, we only had 7 houses, and now there's 20. And, you know, everybody in there, we all know each other, we all look out for each other and take care of each other. So, you know, that's my concern. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the?
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Miss Atkinson, 5117 Shady Oak Trail. First, you did come out and see the guy with the house at 5099 Shady Oak Trail, that he still has some junk out there. But overall, on Linden Road between Beecher and Calkins, just the whole Flint Township, people are not taking care of their property. It is getting really, it's not like it was when I moved 25 years ago in Flint Township. It is becoming deplorable. Too many people got junk cars in the front of their houses, on the side of their houses. There's garbage, there's trash, there's, especially between Beecher and Calkins Road, and then there's one horrible house that's right in front of Carmen Ainsworth High School. The big house right next to it has a big junky van and just garbage everywhere. And that's a school area. But for the most part, like in our subdivision, it's either I'm coming to the township, but we're calling our neighbors to try to make sure we keep our subdivision, up and clean, because we want the value of our property, of our houses, to stay where they are. And so we don't want to keep paying higher taxes, but then when your subdivision become deplorable, the value of your property also, it affects the value of your property. So I just want the Flint Township to go back to being clean, neat, respected, like it was, and enforcing city ordinance, because some people are considering that's why they have an association fee. They don't have those type of problems, but we shouldn't have to pay an association fee because we have a board. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Dave Huffman, 2483 Warner Road. I just have a question. You've heard a lot about frivolous money being spent with money that we don't have in this township. You've heard from the citizens tonight about the blight problem that we have that's going on in the township. You hear retail that's going down in the township. I sat on an economic board meeting last week on a board that I sit in the township, and listened to a representative from Genesee Valley basically defend being a slum landlord in this township, and said he didn't really have any emotional attachment to the acreage that are out here or the businesses. He's just the little caretaker. He's the little puppet master, what they tell what to do. And this township can basically, who cares? Now, that kind of stuff to me got me enraged. I sat on the board and I said, well, listen, he's supposed to get back with us in a couple of weeks. I said, I don't want to see somebody give us that kind of a report of stupidity on a Zoom. I want that gentleman to be right here in front of God and country and face us and tell us what's going on and what plans that they've got. We've had enough of this nonsense. That's number one. Number two, at the last board meeting, one of our trustees brought up as far as money being spent on this meeting that we had over here to the Nazarene Church. And it was brought up that there was money incurred, and I brought it up myself too, because I know for a fact that there was money spent on postage that went for this meeting, and there was legal expenses that went to this meeting. I think the public and the taxpayers, and I hope the report comes out tonight, I want an itemized thing of how much that meeting cost the taxpayers of Flint Township. And it's been asked, it's been requested by a trustee, I want to know. It's irrelevant that we start being more transparent in this township and start thinking about the constituents out here, except these people that don't care, like the Valley. And apparently, some people on the board want to spend money that's not there for frivolous things, and I think the taxpayers are getting tired of it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? One last time. Would anyone like to speak during public comment? Then we'll, if no one else wants to speak, we're going to close public comment. We'll move on to reports. So I had a couple of things to announce. One is it's the County Recycle Day is coming. A lot of people take part in this. The scheduled events are, this will be posted on our website, but I'll just announce it. Tuesday, May 21st, Tuesday, June 18th, Tuesday, July 16th, and Tuesday, August 20th. You can click on their website at the county to register or for information. You have to register to participate. and it lists the items that they accept, which our garbage company would not accept. Like aerosols, automotive fluids, batteries, biomedical sharps, electronic stuff, fire extinguishers, fluorescent light bulbs, mercury, paint and solvents, pesticides and herbicides, medication, propane cylinders up to 30 pounds, reactives and oxidizers, and smoke detectors. Items not accepted are 55-gallon drums of waste, agriculture waste, ammunition, appliances. Our garbage company will accept appliances. They'll allow you to set out 2 large items every week. And if they're large, like a washer or a dryer or a couch, something big, a bed, they ask that you'd give us the call here at the township or call Mterra to give them a heads up so that they can expect that there's going to be a large item or 2. Other items not accepted are commercial waste, compressed gas cylinders other than propane, construction materials, explosives and fireworks, garbage and yard waste, and that's what we pick up weekly. Yard waste, the yard waste pickup begins the first Thursday in April, which is this coming Thursday, and it ends the last Thursday in November. They take paper shredding. They don't take paper shredding, I'm sorry. They won't take radioactives, they won't take tires, and they won't take weapons. So look for this on our website, and there should be a link there for you to click, and you can register if you want to participate in the Genesee County Recycle Days, any 4 of these days. I wanted to mention that we're going to be having a Public Safety Committee meeting to discuss the issues with our public safety and how we move forward. The date is set for April 22nd at 4 p.m. We'll meet at the Police Department Community Room. I checked with you, and that's available, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That's at 5200 Norco Road, and if you're interested, please give me a call or email me. My card's out in the lobby. Our phone number is 810-732-1350. I wanted to make mention that as yard waste starts, I'd ask that you would be mindful of clearing the drain. If you have a catch basin in front of your house, it works best if it's cleared, so clear that out and throw out the debris. It's usually leaves and such. We can dispose of those in the yard waste. The Genesee County Road Commission maintains our roads, and when anybody calls from the township with a problem with their road, that complaint gets forwarded to the Road Commission because it's their responsibility to maintain our roads. And I've seen a lot of complaints. They do fix potholes. They do help fix catch basins. They will fix a culvert for you, the tube that goes under your driveway to help the flow of water in the ditch, but it'll be at your expense. But you can do it yourself. I think you have to get a permit. I know you have to get a permit at the Road Commission. Or I do believe that they will fix it for you, but that's at your expense. What else? They don't pick up trash. And I know that I've seen a lot of complaints about trash. And we don't have a DPW. We use them for repair of the roads. So I know, Barb, you're going to talk about some scheduled cleanups, which we've done before. Also, you're going to be putting out, Tracy, through the DDA, you're going to be putting out for bid the mowing and the trash pickup on the ramps for a contract that will be coming up. But other than that, we have groups that volunteer. We've worked with juvenile work detail at the jail who have gone out under the supervision of the sheriff to help clean up the freeways and some larger roads. But other than that, it's a volunteer basis. We don't have anybody in the township that gets paid to pick up trash. So you're going to talk about the organized days. Okay. Chief, it was brought up, the question about the certification, and maybe you could mention it in your report. I don't believe, was there a cost to that? You can talk about that in your report. Thank you. That's it for my report. Madam Clerk, do you have a report this evening?
I don't, but I would like to thank everyone that supported me during my time of bereavement. Thank you.
Clerk. Mr. Treasurer, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I am getting together the balance of the information that was asked from Madam trustee Vert. I'm waiting on some legal dollars so that I can get that information for you. So I'll hope to have that by our next meeting, if not in between. So that's getting worked on. And I have one item. I'll take care of that in a minute.
Let's see. Do we have any trustee reports this evening?
I do.
Go ahead.
First of all, I guess with Royal Crest, we're gonna, I hope that we can address that somehow.
Could you bring your mic closer to your?
Hello, is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I hope that we can look at that and see if we can fix that. Because I know that area, and it's pretty nice, and it would be really, it's not okay. I think there's other ways that we can.
So we know that that property came to the township. It was a tax reverted property. We know that we put it out for bid, and we, in the last several, I don't even know how many years, since 2016, we've gotten 3 offers on that. I think one offer came in twice, so technically 4 offers.
Yeah.
And there was a final sales to the last offer. And I know that they contacted the building department and they're clearing the land. And I know that they are planning on putting in infrastructure next year. And I don't have any other information than that.
We don't have anything other than that. I mean, we've seen a concept when they wanted to buy it of the subdivision that they're trying to do. It's larger homes. It's not small homes. So
Single-family homes?
single-family homes, yes.
Do you know roughly the amount of homes they're thinking of?
It was, I think, 50 to 70. They were each on at least an acre lot, I thought. So they were bigger lots. And I think the entries, though, to that subdivision are mainly going to be off Dyewood, correct? I believe, once they're done, so.
So
I'm not positive on that.
it'd be an extension
They
of,
have not brought it to us yet for the subdivision approval of the plat.
so they notified the building department that there was gonna be some clearing of the land that doesn't require a permit. So it sounds like they, yep.
Just for anybody that's on Royal Crest also, I spoke with a gentleman about a month ago who got
Will
hired.
you come up to the podium and identify yourself so that people know who you are? Thank you, Tim.
Tim Nestor, the fire marshal. About a month ago, I spoke with a gentleman who was hired to do the clearing there. He called us requesting permission to burn, and we denied him that request, that he's not able to burn all of the cleared piles. He had to chip it. So if anybody on Royal Crest, if they are burning, if they burn any of that, give us a call at the fire department and we will come out and take care of it. They are not authorized to burn any of that, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yep.
So they said that there's some surveying going on, so they must have hired somebody.
Sure, and that's probably part of the reason they're doing the clearing is so they can survey for their infrastructure and to do their drawings for their site plans. Because they'll have to plat it, they'll have to do all that at the state level and county level before we really get too much. I mean, it'll come here for the plat to be approved.
So technically, that's a large area, 86.2 acres. And so there's Royal Crest that is an entryway, but also you have north and south Dyewood entryways, correct? There'd be 3 entryways into that subdivision once it's complete.
Technically, it's phase 3 of Dyewood.
Okay. All right, so if anyone has any questions, they're gonna wanna speak to someone here. So if you call our main number, 810-732-1350, you can speak with me or you can speak with Tracy and we'll see if we can't get answers for you. I mean, I think the information you just heard right now is the extent of the information that we have. But we know the engineer who's working for the new owner, and we can get a hold of him and see if there's any other plans. I did hear that they were planning on clearing this year and not putting in infrastructure in until next year. So, it's not really, can we talk after the meeting? Oh, the main line is 810-732-1350. 1350? Okay,
I'm just gonna, I've got a couple more things, but just with that, I've always been that it'd be nice if a letter was sent to the residents.
Yeah.
I've been so on that for years, and so just to let them know, this is what's going on, the property's been sold, and so, you know,
Well-
because that happened, you know, that happened behind me. It's like, what are you doing? You know? And it'd be just nice to be notified, let the residents know, property's been sold and it's anything.
so I believe that occurred in August at the board meeting, right?
Probably.
Right? Was it in August?
That sounds about right.
Well, there was some time that they took to do their due diligence before the sale was final. Maybe it started earlier than that, and it was completed in August.
Yeah, I think you guys actually voted on it in June.
In June?
And then it was finalized, I think, mid-August. August.
Turn the mic around.
What? Oh, Tracy, okay. Can you, want to continue?
Yep, one more thing is, on May 2nd, it's a Thursday, there is free shredding for senior centers in Genesee County. And it's gonna be at the Miracle Commons in Mundy Township, off Hill Road, which is by the bike shop on the north side there. And that's gonna be from 10 to 1. And this is for seniors only. But it's a really nice thing to have, so. And you can go to some, if you don't have boxes, you can go to the senior centers, any of them, they have paper bags you can get. And they'll take all that, but the boxes you bring, you have to take back, they won't keep them. Okay, also, trash pickup. We do trash pickups. We're starting again this year, it's gonna be the first Saturday of each month. I think it's gonna start in May because it could snow again this month, next coming week. So, but the first Saturday from like 10 to 12, we pick different sites in the township that we all get together. We get vests and gloves and water, and we go out and we just pick everything up. Officer Chiza does take charge of that. We drop all the stuff, the bags or whatever we find, and he takes his truck with a trailer and he comes back and we load it all up and then we get them dumped. But we would love to see volunteers. Mr. Newsom, you've been there. Mary Beth, you've been there. It'd be nice to see some new faces this year. So look at the website and also on the Crime Watch page, I think they post it. It'll be the area we're going to and the date. But right now it's the first Saturday of each month and we're gonna go through November.
So in the past, when we had a disruption, it was COVID year, when we had a disruption in pickup, because they couldn't get enough workers, we got a dumpster out here for pickup. And you and I talked about that before the meeting, about contacting the trash company to see if they couldn't put out a dumpster here for the month of May for Earth Day, because there is a ton of trash. I don't know where it's coming from, it's multiplying. It's gotten worse and worse since COVID, but if I get enough calls, I just would like to see us do that. I don't think there's a charge to us to do that. I think we can get it free from.
They didn't charge us last time. We can do that again. He said we could do it anytime. And
But
then
it can't be, you know, like hazardous material and no tires. That's the biggest thing.
It's just
You know, we
supposed to
come back in
be
the morning and
litter
somebody's dumped
pickup.
off a bunch of tires and it's like, we can't have that.
Do you need more of the pickup sticks?
We have quite a few of those, and the vests and that type of thing.
Yeah, just let me know.
And garbage bags,
We'll
but
make sure
yeah.
you get everything you need. And if you guys can get me the information, we'll make sure we post it out on the Facebook page as well. So we can do that.
So that's it, thank you.
Do we have any other trust? Did you? You didn't have anything you wanted to tell us about last weekend? Okay. Any trustee reports this way? Jean?
I'd just like to comment on what Trustee Vert was talking about. I've been anxious, can you all hear me? I've been anxious to get involved with the blight situation that we have here. Supervisor Miller and I already, we had some signs made. And I think we had some legal problems about who was going to put them up and all that kind of thing. So we still have them, and we're still working at, I'm sure, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna put them.
They're, for littering.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Because it's bad for us to have this type of situation. She talking about, Ms. Burke talking about, we'd like to have people participating. Well, we used to have a program in Flint called a mass cleanup. So I would like to see that transferred over to Flint Township for us to come together and have it notified as a mass cleanup. And that way, everybody can take a part in it, and that way we can stop complaining and start doing. So it's by the people, for the people. I thank God for your space.
And remember, I bought you a box of 100 garbage bags.
Okay. So we'll move on to staff reports. Thank you. Mrs. Tucker, do you have a report for us this evening?
Well, we already spoke about the river forest. I think, what the information we had is now out there. The other thing I wanted to talk
Tracy,
about.
sorry, we chatted a little bit, and the information's out to the trustees, and we'll bring that, I was telling the clerk.
Sorry, I was talking about Dyewood. We already talked about Dyewood. Yeah. We do have a discussion about river forest. We're gonna talk about that later, or did you want to do that now?
It was requested to have the information. They want to ask some questions and bring it to the April 14th meeting.
Okay, all right, so you have that. If you have any questions on it, let me know. The other thing I wanted to bring up, Bunny Trail went on from the 16th to the 26th. We met on Thursday to do the prize pickup. Officer Chiza was there, Trustee Fafdahl, one of our volunteers, Annette Marks, another volunteer, Shanna Tucker, and then a Walmart associate named Kevin. And we gave away 15 bikes and trikes, along with a helmet, a stuffed animal, and chocolate bunny to all the winners. We did 6 sibling prizes for people that came to the pickup and had a brother or sister with them, but they didn't win a prize. We made sure they walked away with something as well. We had 2 $50 gift certificate adult winners. The 2 winners chose McAllister's Deli and Culver's, and they have received their winnings already. We also did numerous ads on 103.9 The Fox, Cars 108. Those were provided by one of our event sponsors, Brilliant Marketing and Company and Agency. And then we had ads that were on WSMH Fox 66, and then coverage from the View newspaper prior and after the event. We had great community partners, Shea and Dort Financial Credit Union, and event sponsors, Flint Bishop Airport, Brilliant Marketing, and then our prize sponsors were Walmart, Kieran's Carpets, Culver's, and Gazelle Lewis and Associates Architects. So we had a great event. It turned out really nice. Everybody was happy. All the businesses had people that showed up and came in to register for the gifts. And it was just a great event overall. It was a lot. With having the election, we wondered how much we would be able to get done. But we were able to pull it together, and we got that done. Speaking of election, we are receiving applications for the May 7th election. We've started getting ballots back that we've already sent out. So we only have one precinct that will be involved in this election for the Flushing schools, and that's precinct 5. The Election Commission met last week, approved the election workers for that precinct. They also approved the early processing of the AV ballots, along with change to the early voting hours for August and November. In August and November are early voting hours that start the Saturday 10 days before the election would be from 8:30 to 4:30, I believe is what we said. And that will be here, just like we had before, but it lasts for 9 days straight. So that takes in 2 Saturdays, 2 Sundays, and then the week in between, so. That's where we're at right now.
So for that election in May, that's precinct 5, that's anyone who lives north, on the north side of Beecher Road and north of that, correct?
Correct, from, basically east of I-75 on the north side of Flushing Road, everything west of I-75, Flushing Road to Pasadena, and then west to our northernmost border, which is, I think, Amelia Street. And then, from Mill Road west on the north side of Beecher to Elms Road. So everything north of Beecher Road.
Okay.
Tracy, is that a Flushing Village?
You mentioned it.
That's it. It is a school. It's a school millage for Flushing schools for, I think it's a building fund or something. I'm not sure. When I read the wording on it, the wording is very odd. So if you have questions on it, I would direct it directly to the school because I can't explain it.
Okay. And then, I mentioned it earlier, the DDA has talked about you putting the mowing and the cleanup on the ramps out for bid. Can we, is that gonna happen in April?
I'm trying to get it out in April. If my computer works every day, it might help. We've been having a lot of weird issues with the computer, so it's been very difficult. But I think I should be able to get those done because the actual one for the ramps, I already have that one prepped. I just have to get it out. The one that's gonna take a little bit of time will be the landscaping one, the one they're considering. We did have the applications for the facade grants for Beecher Road Corridor and for Bristol Road Corridor. Those applications are complete now, so those are available to the public. So there were several things that were being worked on, not just those bid packets. So those things are done and they're ready to go. So now the next step is to get these bid packets. We do have a company that's doing the mowing. We're not gonna wait to start doing cleanups and stuff for this bid packet. We will continue with the people we have for right now until we get the bid packets done. So there's no fear there that he knows that we're gonna do the bid packets, but he's still gonna do the work at the price we had before, so.
Thank you. Chief Salter?
I was gonna ask if you want me to turn my sign around before I speak.
No.
Okay. A few things that happened in the last 2 weeks since our last board meeting. We put on our Facebook that we had a retail fraud arrest. We had 5 suspects decided to go on a shopping spree without paying it for anything. And of course, when we get there, they all start running, but we did arrest all 5, and they all were lodged at the jail. Since our last board meeting, we had 11 domestic violence arrests. One of the domestic violence arrests is where the suspect shot a gun into the ceiling before our arrival, so we had to treat it as a barricaded gunman, but he did come out peacefully. And he was lodged for that charge too. Also, we had a hit and run accident involving one of our patrol cars. One of our cars was driving at approximately 1:32 a.m. in the morning, was hit by a car, and the car proceeded to take off and leave the scene of the accident. Both occupants or both officers of our vehicle were okay, but they could not pursue the car because the car was damaged so bad. They ended up finding the driver a few hours later, and she was arrested for OWI and leaving the scene of an accident. We also had 3 drinking and driving arrests, and I do not have anything for the agenda. And regarding accreditation, I can't give you the total price it cost us, but I know our department is one out of only 5% of the departments in the state of Michigan had the accreditation that we had. Since that accreditation we went through, other departments, of course, are going into it. I think that number's a lot higher now. But that accreditation helps with the current trends, the policies, the practices of law enforcement. So I think it's vital that we did that. I'm proud that we did that.
Thank you. Chief Beckley?
Thank you. Since the last board meeting on March 18th, we responded to 49 incidents. This includes 4 structure fires and 3 vehicle fires in the last 2 weeks. Just a couple highlights on those. On the 21st, we responded to a vehicle fire southbound 75 and Bristol Road. Luckily, that fire was contained to just that vehicle on the side of the road. It was pretty much right in line with one of the runways there, so that was a little interesting for a few minutes. On the 22nd, we responded to a commercial structure fire in the 4100 block of Fenton Road. This is a commercial business that had a fire inside of it. The fire was quickly knocked down. Overhaul was completed. There was extensive damage to that building. On the 29th, we responded to a reported structure fire at Clover Tree Apartments. The initial calls were for smoke in multiple different apartments within that building. Fire crews arrived to find the smoke, but had to do a lot of investigating to figure out where the smoke was actually coming from. It was a common dryer vent that runs from the first floor out the roof of that building behind the walls, and there was actually a bunch of lint in there that was built up and caught on fire. So our crews were on scene for about 2 hours there, just over 2 hours on that incident, trying to do as little damage as possible to the building, but also make sure that fire was out. This morning we were dispatched to a structure fire in the 2000 block of Graham Road. Luckily, this one just ended up being a water leak inside of the home, and there was no actual fire within that building. But we do get called to a lot of different things at a lot of different times. One more thing I'd just like to touch on is I'd like to again congratulate Sergeant Clements, who on Saturday the 26th received the Genesee County Fire Chiefs Association Firefighter of the Year Award for 2023. I know Chief Salter and I have both talked about this incident back in December at Miller Road and Dye, but he was nominated and recognized by the Genesee County Fire Chiefs Association for that incident. That is 2 years in a row that a Flint Township firefighter has received the Genesee County Firefighter of the Year award. So very proud of that. And we are going to be starting our on-call firefighter hiring campaign for 2024. Of course, I've said this 100 times, and I'll continue to say it. We are always looking for on-call firefighters. Please come down and fill out an application. You'll see some flyers out on social media and some other places here within the next few weeks. We pay for all of your equipment, all of your training. We pay you to go to training. Everything is provided by us. We need more on-call firefighters. Please come out, apply. I just can't stress that one enough. We have no action items on the agenda this evening, but as we get into springtime here, just a reminder on burning. You cannot burn grass clippings, leaves, anything like that within Flint Township. That all has to be taken care of through the yard waste program. You can burn sticks, twigs, those kind of things, but you do have to call us first and get a burn permit. You have to call the fire department before you start burning. All of the requirements are on our website as well. So if you have any questions, just give us a call or look on our website. But please make sure you call before you start burning, and don't burn leaves. They smoke like crazy. People will call, and we will come out and we'll put the fire out. So again, those guidelines are all online. And if you have any questions, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help. And I know I've asked the last couple of meetings to have a discussion coming soon about Fire Station 1 and staffing and those type of things. I wasn't sure whether this would be the appropriate time to maybe talk about that for a few minutes, or...
I think we need to do that at our Public Safety Committee meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Is that the end of your report?
Yes.
John, you said you don't have a committee report this evening. We'll move on to number 8. Mr. Treasurer, payment of bills.
Thank you. Trustees, you should have all received copies of the invoices and/or disbursements via your email and/or in person. We have invoices in the amount of $98,580.74 that need to be paid, and they've all met the purchasing policy, as well as distributions.
Can't hear you. Can't hear a word.
Sorry. That's unusual. How about we try that again? Is that better?
Yes.
All right. Trustees, you should have received copies of the invoices and/or disbursements via email and/or in hard copy. You could have looked at them. We've have those invoices in the amount of $98,580.74. They all met the policy. Excuse me. We have tax disbursements in the amount of $4,035,000. $35,052.99. That's a total outlay of invoices and tax disbursements of $4,133,633.73 in invoices and tax disbursements. And yes, that's my motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Any questions for Mr. Treasurer? No, hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call, please. To pay the bills in the amount of $98,580.74.
Trustee King,
Yes.
trustee Vert,
Yes.
trustee Fabdo,
Yes.
treasurer Clee,
Yes, ma'am.
trustee Leverett,
Yes.
clerk Triplett, yes, supervisor Miller.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We have correspondence or informational items?
That was that recycling that you already
Recycling.
talked about in your report.
Thank you.
So.
Yep, there it is. And now we'll move on to new business. Action item A is R&T Enterprise. So you have printed out the recommendation of our attorney. I gotta get to it. This is, has to deal with that house on Fernwood that we've taken to court. There was a judgment, and the judgment was for 45 days in jail for breaking the, I don't know if it was contempt of court or not doing what the judge said. 45 days in jail, $2,500 fine, and attorney fees, court fees, and code enforcement fees, and that judgment was appealed. So the case moved to the appeal court with Judge Celeste Bell. She's considering what her judgment is going to be. And here you have information from our attorney recommending that we don't take before judgment settlement because it doesn't benefit the township anything. He's asking us, the board, to approve his recommendation to direct him to continue settlement negotiations with the Thorntons consistent with the framework of this draft, and two, to direct the attorney not to entertain the settlement proposal, but to let the litigation play itself out. So that's the recommendation of Attorney Gilner, and a motion would be in order to move forward.
I'll make a motion to accept Attorney Gilner's recommendation.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it. No, you.
Alrighty. I don't have a lot of answers. I don't know if there's questions, but I think he's gonna try and get the best settlement on this situation. The house burned on Fernwood. It's boarded up. Needs to be repaired. And he'll give us more update. And if you want, he can appear before us and give us an update after we hear more information. That sound good? All those in favor of accepting the Attorney Gilner's recommendation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? So that's approved unanimously. We have no other action items. Our next board meeting is April 15th, 6 p.m. here. And if there's no further business and without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned.
State of
Because of you, I felt hopeless. I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me. Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.